You've felt it. That test. That doesn't come with words, but with silence. They ignore your messages, make you wait, twist your emotions, just to see how much power they have over you. They want to see you chase, to react, to explode. Because the moment you do, they know they own you. Every time you lose control, you hand someone the blueprint to your mind. That's the modern game. Control through emotion. They don't need to break you. They just need to make you feel. Your anger becomes their victory. Your guilt becomes their chain. Your sadness becomes their control. Machiavelli said it centuries ago. He who controls your emotions controls your fate. And that's what most people miss. The world doesn't destroy you with force. It destroys you with emotional pressure. That's why the calm ones always win. The people who don't flinch, who don't react, who don't explain. They scare everyone. Because emotional control is power. It's silence that makes people nervous. It's calmness that creates confusion. It's restraint that builds dominance. To be emotionally dangerous means no one can predict your next move. You can feel pain and still smile. You can be insulted and still remain quiet. You can be doubted and walk forward with certainty. That's when you become untouchable. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove anything. Your silence does it for you. You become the storm people sense, but never see coming. Most people want to be loved, understood, accepted, but when you want nothing, when you stop reacting, you gain something far more powerful: control. Because the moment no one can control your emotions, no one can control your life. That's what makes you emotionally dangerous. Calm, unreadable, unpredictable. And once you reach that level, you'll never be a puppet in someone else's game again. So if you're ready to master your emotions, instead of being mastered by them, stay with me. This will change the way you see every interaction in your life. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I am emotionally untouchable. The hidden trap of emotional manipulation. Most people don't even realize they're being controlled because it never looks like control. It looks like care, concern, love. But underneath, it's strategy. It starts with attention. Someone studies you, how you react, what makes you soft, what makes you angry. They collect your emotional data like a weapon, and then they use it. They make you feel bad for pulling away. You question yourself when you're right. You doubt your own instincts. That's not connection. That's conditioning. The manipulator doesn't demand power. They make you hand it to them, and they do it by controlling how you feel. Guilt is their favorite weapon. They'll say, I thought you were different, or you've really changed. Those aren't observations, they're traps, designed to make you second-guess your strength, to make you return to your submissive self. You see, emotional manipulators fear your calm more than your anger, because anger is predictable. Calm is not. When you're calm, you can't be controlled. Machiavelli said men are driven by two things: fear and interest. Manipulators mix both. They make you afraid of losing them, and interested in winning their approval. That's how they control your heart and your behavior. The most dangerous part? It feels emotional, not strategic, but it's both. When you feel heavy after talking to someone, when you feel drained instead of understood, that's not a coincidence. That's control. They feed off your emotional reaction like energy. And when you stop reacting, they panic. That's when they'll call you cold or heartless. But that's just noise, the desperate cry of someone losing access to your emotions. The truth is, manipulators hate silence because silence forces them to face themselves. Your silence is a mirror, and they can't stand what it shows them, so they'll try harder. Fake vulnerability. Play the victim, promise change, but it's all bait, to pull you back into emotional dependency. The only way out is awareness. Once you see the pattern, the power returns to you. You see through every act, every guilt trip, every silent treatment, and the moment you see through it, it stops working. You start watching instead of reacting. You let their manipulation echo into your calm. Because the moment you stop being emotionally available for manipulation, you stop being a target. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care intelligently. You understand the cost of emotional access. Not everyone deserves to reach your feelings. Some people only get close, so they can use them against you. Protect your emotions like currency. Only invest them where there's respect. Not everyone deserves to reach your feelings. Some people only get close, so they can use them against you. Protect your emotions like currency. Only invest them where there's respect. Once you learn that, you become free. Because no manipulator can survive without your reaction. They need your chaos to feed their control. Take that away, and you starve them of power. That's how you win. Not by fighting back, but by refusing to play. So next time someone tries to guilt you, provoke you, twist you, remember, it's not a conversation, it's a test. Pass it by staying calm, walk away without a word, control yourself, and you control everything. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I see through manipulation Machiavelli's law, emotion is weakness. Most people think feeling deeply makes them human. But in reality, unbridled emotion is the fastest way to lose control of your life. Love, anger, fear, empathy, they're not dangerous. Letting them rule you is. Every time you act on impulse, every time your mood dictates your choices, you hand your power to someone else. Life doesn't care about your heart. It only responds to control. Machiavelli saw this. He said rulers who let feelings interfere with decisions always fell. He said, men judge more from appearances than reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. In modern terms, people will use your visible emotions faster than they'll see your intent, your sadness, your excitement, your anger. It's a roadmap for them to manipulate you. When you get angry at an insult, they gain information. When you desperately seek approval, they know your weakness. When you love too openly, they see the strings to pull. Emotional transparency is vulnerability, disguised as honesty. The strongest person in the room isn't the loudest or the most passionate. It's the one who doesn't let emotions dictate their actions. They know reaction is surrender, and true power is in restraint. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." This doesn't mean be cruel. It means attachment, sentiment, uncontrolled feeling. Our weaknesses others will exploit. Anger must be measured. Fear must be analyzed. Desire must be restrained. Otherwise, you become predictable, controllable. That's why leaders, thinkers, survivors master this. They smile while furious, stay silent while insulted, decide from strategy, not instinct. You can feel love without needing it. Anger without exploding, fear without being paralyzed. That balance is the mark of someone emotionally dangerous. It's not the absence of feeling, it's the presence of discipline. Every uncalculated response is a weakness, waiting to be exploited. The world isn't waiting to reward your goodness, it's waiting to exploit your lapses. They'll use your empathy against you, your hope, your patience. Emotional control is the battlefield where the strong thrive. Their calm is a weapon. Their stillness creates fear. Their unreadable face is a shield. They feel like everyone else, but they act like no one else, aware of manipulation, but untouched by it. This mastery is forged through vigilance. Every day someone will test you, provoke you, try to force a reaction. Discipline is your sword, detachment is your shield, awareness is your armor. The moment you surrender a fraction of control, you surrender a piece of your power, and once lost, power is rarely regained. Machiavelli's law is simple, brutal. Uncontrolled emotion is weakness, and weakness invites domination. The more your feelings dictate your actions, the more exploitable you become. The only way out? Act with purpose. Calculate your responses. Never let your inner state be an open book. That is the path of the emotionally dangerous. That is the path of true control. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My emotions serve me, the meaning of being emotionally dangerous. Being emotionally dangerous doesn't mean cold, cruel, or indifferent. It means your emotions are no longer your enemies, and they're no longer weapons others can use against you. It means every feeling you have, love, anger, pain, desire, is harnessed, measured, under your command. Most people let their emotions run wild like untamed beasts. That lack of control makes them weak, predictable. But when you become emotionally dangerous, your inner world is a fortress. You can feel deeply, but no one sees the cracks. You can care without needing, be enraged without exploding, hurt without revealing it, because the moment someone sees what troubles you, they gain leverage. The moment they witness your weakness, they gain power. Emotional danger is transforming feelings into silent weapons, and every silent weapon is a threat that can't be countered. Machiavelli said, "Men are quick to believe, slow to act, and easy to deceive." That's the pattern manipulators exploit. They test your reactions, push your buttons, study your behavior. But the emotionally dangerous person is unreadable. Their face reveals nothing. Their hands betray nothing. Their body language gives away nothing. They become a mystery, and mystery is power. It forces others to hesitate, to question, to second-guess their manipulation. They can't calculate your response, because there's no pattern to exploit. You're no longer a participant in petty games. You see provocation for what it is, and you remain still. You don't chase approval, validation, or attention. You understand the world doesn't reward sensitivity. It rewards control. Your calm is your armor. Your restraint is your weapon. Your silence is your dominance. It's also about anticipation. You recognize triggers in others before they act. You prepare mentally, strategically. You don't react impulsively. You act deliberately. You turn their chaos into your advantage. The more they try to manipulate you, the more their weakness shows, and the more your power grows. You are not cold because you refuse to feel. You are strong because you refuse to surrender. You may feel betrayal, disappointment, pain, but those experiences can no longer unseat you. You process them internally, without giving outsiders the map to your mind. That's why emotionally dangerous people are feared, respected, and rarely understood. They are untouchable because they cannot be controlled. They are unbreakable because their foundation is internal mastery, not external validation. They don't need to prove themselves to anyone, yet their presence commands attention. Their silence makes people uneasy. Their calmness unsettles chaos. Every step is measured. Every word is intentional. Every reaction is calculated. They are a storm contained in a human body. Powerful, unpredictable, untouchable. That is the essence. It's not about who hurts you. It's about how you choose to respond, how you choose to feel, how you ensure your emotions are yours alone. To be emotionally dangerous is to hold absolute dominion over yourself, while the world scrambles in uncertainty. I control my inner storm. The 5 steps to emotional control. Mastering emotional control isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about turning reactions into conscious, deliberate actions that serve your power. It's turning chaos into strategy, impulses into choice. Step 1. Pause before you react. Every moment you resist the urge to respond is a moment you reclaim power. Manipulators thrive on immediate reactions. They push, they prod, they trigger, and they watch. The instant you respond, You hand them information. The pause is not hesitation. It's a weapon. It disarms them. It gives you time to assess with clarity, not emotion. Step 2. Replace emotion with strategy. When you feel the urge to act, ask, what is the most useful move right now? This shifts you from instinct to calculation. You see the situation as it is, not as your feelings make it appear. Strategy turns emotion into power. Step 3. Train your triggers. Everyone has buttons that ignite chaos. Identify yours. Observe them without judgment, without shame. Once you understand what destabilizes you, you can neutralize it. You learn not to react because you are prepared. Preparation creates invulnerability. Step 4. Control your face, body, and tone. Emotions leak through subtle signs. A twitch, a glance, a breath. Eyes give away curiosity. Posture gives away tension. Master these channels, and you master perception. If they can't read you, they can't predict you. They can't manipulate you. Silence, stillness, measured expressions communicate power more than any words. Step 5. Say less than necessary. Words are ammunition. Every statement can be twisted and used against you. The less you reveal, the less they can exploit. Speak with precision, with purpose, with restraint. Silence is not emptiness. It's the gravity that pulls attention, the calm that unnerves chaos. This is an ongoing practice, not a one-time achievement. Every day, someone will test you. Discipline is a continuous battle with your own instincts. Detachment is observing without surrender. Restraint is the demonstration of your command. When you master these 5 steps, you become untouchable. Your calm forces others to hesitate. Your awareness makes them second-guess. Your silence strips them of leverage. Every interaction becomes a test you are prepared to pass. Emotional control isn't denying your humanity. It's elevating it. Using your mind, your perception, your will as instruments of dominance. The more you practice, the more invisible your power becomes. People sense it. They feel it in your presence, your reactions. That's when you are truly emotionally dangerous, not because you suppress feelings, but because you master them with precision, patience, and purpose. Build your emotional fortress. Your mind is a battlefield, but it can be a fortress. Most people leave the gates open, letting every insult, every provocation wreak havoc. But you are not most people. Building an emotional fortress means creating boundaries so strong no one gets in without your permission. The first layer, awareness. Recognize what belongs in your mind and what stays outside. Not every comment deserves weight. Not every action should affect your state. The second layer, detachment. This is your moat. Keeping chaos and manipulation at a distance. It doesn't mean apathy. It means observing without surrendering. You see deception for what it is and remain untouched. This ensures no one can exploit your feelings. The third layer, discipline. The foundation that prevents cracks. Training your thoughts, reactions, behaviors to respond intentionally, not instinctively. Discipline ensures you remain calm, silent, and strategic. The fourth layer, self-respect. A fortress is useless if the owner lets outsiders trample the walls. Value your peace, your focus, your power above anyone's approval. Self-respect is the inner guard that enforces your boundaries, without compromise. The fifth layer, resilience. No fortress withstands constant siege without repair. Life will test you. People will try to break you. Resilience means when cracks appear, you reinforce them immediately. Pain becomes a tool. Betrayal becomes information. Pressure makes you stronger. Machiavelli said to follow the paths of great men. Your fortress is built the same way, by learning from those who remained untouchable. Each insult dies at your walls. Each manipulation attempt bounces off. Every emotional assault becomes a lesson, not a wound. Inside this fortress, you are untouchable. Calmness is your architecture. Silence is your weapon. Awareness is your guard. Outside, chaos may scream, but inside, you are sovereign. You decide who enters, who influences you, who is banished. You hold the keys to your thoughts, your reactions, your power. Building this requires vigilance, courage, constant reinforcement, but the reward is absolute independence. Once your walls are complete, no manipulator, no predator can get in. You operate from sovereignty. Where external chaos has no dominion over your internal state, that is true emotional mastery, the essence of being untouchable. Your fortress is invisible to most, but its strength is undeniable. It makes you confident, fearless, impossible to predict. It turns attacks into harmless noise, manipulation into lessons in control. Every day you reinforce your walls. You grow stronger, sharper, more formidable. Your inner empire is your ultimate weapon, and no one can seize it, unless you allow them. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind is untouchable. Maintaining emotional power. Emotional power isn't a one-time achievement. It's a daily exercise in vigilance, restraint, strategy. Every day someone will try to pull you into their drama, provoke your anger, manipulate your sympathy. They want to test your composure, find the weaknesses you've hidden. Maintaining power means never giving them that access. The first rule: observation. Become an expert at reading intent without revealing vulnerability. Notice the tone, the timing, the patterns. People rarely act randomly. Every emotional tug, every silence has a purpose. Awareness turns attempted control into harmless information. The second rule: restraint. Resist the urge to respond, to argue, to defend, to justify. Restraint is not weakness, it's strength in motion. Every withheld reaction strips power from manipulators. The world expects emotional responses. Refusing to give them breaks their script. The third rule: detachment. Live from a place of inner independence. No one should dictate your moods, your focus, your decisions. Detachment is sovereignty. It lets you feel without surrendering, notice without being ensnared. The fourth rule: discipline. You will encounter triggers. Moments designed to break your calm. Discipline turns these moments into practice for mastery. The more disciplined you are, the less anyone can predict, manipulate, or destabilize you. The fifth rule: continual reinforcement. Emotional power isn't static. Every day brings new tests. Reinforce your control. Rebuild any cracks. Refine your strategies. A single lapse can undo months of mastery. Machiavelli said, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver." When others try to manipulate you and you remain untouched, the satisfaction is in your absolute control. They expect chaos. You offer calm. They anticipate weakness. You demonstrate dominance. They seek to sway you. You remain immovable. Over time, this becomes a reputation. People learn you are not a target. You cannot be provoked. Exploiting you is futile. Your presence becomes a deterrent. But this power is also internal, processing disappointment without bitterness, betrayal without collapse, provocation without impulsivity. You don't need to display this power. It's invisible, yet palpable. People sense it in how you hold yourself, how you speak. They hesitate, they question, because they cannot predict, control, or unsettle you. Maintaining this power means understanding. Control over others is secondary to control over yourself. Your reactions, your focus, your inner state are non-negotiable. No situation, no person, no insult can disturb them without your permission. That is the ultimate power. The power that needs no approval, no confrontation, no validation. You operate in the world, untouchable, unshakable, unexposed. The strongest person in the room doesn't need to prove it. They don't seek reaction. Their internal authority is absolute. Every day you maintain this. You reinforce your untouchable self. You become someone who cannot be owned, read, or controlled. You transform chaos into information, pressure into strategy, provocation into mastery. The man who cannot control his emotions will always serve the one who can. That's the truth most people refuse to see. The world doesn't reward kindness, or explainers, or open hearts. It rewards control, precision, mastery over self. If you followed this path, if you've learned to pause, to strategize, to build your fortress, then you're no longer a pawn. You set the rules. You decide who influences you. Your emotions belong to you. Your decisions belong to you. Your mind is your empire, and it is untouchable. The people who once tested you, provoked you, they will notice. They will sense your calm, respect your restraint. They will hesitate before trying again, because nothing is more intimidating than someone whose internal world cannot be invaded. You don't need to prove yourself, shout, explain, or justify. Every interaction is a silent demonstration of mastery. The less they know about your reactions, the more power you hold. Emotional danger is subtle, invisible, unstoppable. The quiet storm people sense, but cannot anticipate. The fortress no one can breach. Remember, this mastery is not permanent unless you maintain it. Every day is a test, a war with impulsivity, desire, distraction. But the rewards are absolute freedom, respect, and authority over your world. You are untouchable, not because you dominate others, but because no one can dominate you. This is the path. Calm, unreadable, unpredictable. Your emotions are your servants, not your masters. Your mind is your territory. No one invades without your consent. So take this knowledge, carry it. Apply it relentlessly. Guard your reactions. Strengthen your fortress. Refuse to be owned. Because when your emotions belong only to you, no one controls your life. You become untouchable. You become formidable. You become the storm everyone fears, but never sees coming. If you learned anything today, commit it to action. Become the master of your own mind. Become emotionally dangerous. Remember, true power always starts within. If this resonated with you, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more. You've built the walls. You hold the power. But the world doesn't stop testing. The final test isn't from them. It's from you. Complacency is the silent killer of mastery. You think you've arrived. You think you're safe inside your fortress. That's the moment a new weakness is born. The enemy of mastery, complacency. The biggest threat to your emotional control isn't a master manipulator. It's your own comfort, the belief that you've won. You let a comment slide, you react just once, thinking it doesn't matter. You let someone back in, thinking you can handle it now. That's the crack in the armor, the single open gate, and they will find it. They always do. Maintaining power is a colder, quieter war than gaining it. It's fought in the small moments no one sees, the moment you choose silence over a clever comeback, the moment you feel the trigger pull, and you consciously release it, the moment you watch someone perform for a reaction, and you feel nothing but a quiet understanding of their weakness. This is the daily drill, the relentless reinforcement of your own sovereignty. It's not glamorous, but it's everything. Machiavelli understood that a ruler's work is never done. The prince who rests on his victories is the one who falls to a rival he never saw coming. Your mind is your kingdom. You are its prince. And the moment you stop guarding it, you invite a coup. So what's the final step? Vigilance. Eternal vigilance. Not paranoia, not constant stress, but a calm, unwavering awareness that your peace is the most valuable thing you own. and you are its only protector. You must become the silent guardian of your own mind, patching cracks before they spread, reinforcing walls before they're tested. This is the final level of being emotionally dangerous. When your control is so ingrained, it becomes who you are. Not an act, not a strategy, but your nature. You are no longer practicing calm. You are calm. You are no longer controlling reactions. You simply don't react. This is where you become a legend in your own story. Untouchable not by force, but by essence. The storm isn't just coming. Storm. But guardianship is not the end. It is the beginning of a new reality, a reality where you are no longer just a player in the game. You are the architect of the board, the architect's mind. When your inner world is secure, your perception shifts. You stop seeing problems and start seeing patterns. You stop hearing insults and start hearing insecurities. The emotional games of others become simple, predictable. Their attempts at control are like children's puzzles to you. You see the guilt trip being set up 3 moves in advance. You sense the silent treatment coming before the first message is ignored. This is not a reaction. This is foresight, and with foresight, you can design the outcome before the game even begins. You can choose to step aside, letting their manipulation collapse under its own weight, or you can guide it, subtly, to lead them exactly where you want them to be. You are no longer defending your fortress. You are designing the landscape around it. You decide which battles are fought, and which are won before they start. This is the power of the architect. You control the environment, not by force, but by understanding its fundamental laws. The law? Emotion is a tool, reaction is a weakness, and silence is the ultimate strategy, the unbreakable identity. There is a final stage where this control ceases to be a discipline and becomes your identity. The emotionally dangerous person is not a role you play. It is who you are. You don't choose not to react. The thought of reacting doesn't even occur. It would be like a king fighting a peasant for a scrap of bread. It is beneath you. Your value is no longer external. It is intrinsic. Your worth is not dictated by their approval. Your mood is not swayed by their actions. Your peace is not a prize they can win. This is true freedom, the freedom of unbreakable self-possession. You have become a closed system, self-sustaining and self-validating. People will orbit you. They will try to understand your gravity. They will seek your validation, because you give none. They will crave your reaction, because it is the one thing they cannot have. And in their craving, they will hand you their power, without you ever asking. This is the final inversion of the game. You win by making the game itself irrelevant. You are not playing. You are simply being. And your mere existence redefines the rules for everyone around you. So walk forward from this moment, not as a soldier going to war, but as a sovereign surveying their kingdom. The tests will come. Let them. The provocations will continue. Observe them. But they will not touch the real you. They will only touch the image of you that you allow them to see. You are the calm. You are the storm. You are the architect. You are untouchable. This is not the end of your training. It is the beginning of your legacy. Now go and build a world that is worthy of the peace you have created within. If you understand this, if you are ready to live this, then declare it. Drop this final, unshakable truth in the comments. Let it be your seal. There is one final step beyond the architect, a state beyond strategy, beyond control, a state of pure being, the unmoved soul. The architect still designs, the guardian still watches, but the unmoved soul simply is. This is where you transcend the game so completely, you forget there ever was one. Your peace is no longer a guarded fortress, but the very air you breathe. You don't observe manipulation, because you no longer perceive it as a threat. You see it only as noise, the distant chatter of a world that can no longer reach you. There is no more us versus them. There is only your unshakable core and the universe that revolves around it. You have dissolved the final enemy. The idea that you were ever in a battle to begin with. The need to win, to dominate, to be untouchable. It evaporates. What remains is a profound, effortless power. Not the power to control, but the power of absolute non-resistance. Insults don't bounce off your armor. They pass through you like light through glass, leaving no mark, causing no shadow. Your silence is not a weapon. It is the quiet hum of a soul that needs nothing. You are finally, completely, and irrevocably free. Not because you fought for it, but because you remembered it. This is the destination. The journey's end, the point where the student becomes the master and the master becomes the legend. You are no longer emotionally dangerous. You are eternally at peace. If you have reached this understanding, if you feel this truth in your bones, then write this not as an affirmation, but as a statement of fact. I am the unmoved soul.